What's going on, you guys? This is Trent here at Rexburg Motorsports, here to do another machine overview for you guys. Now today we are going to talk about one of the most hyped sleds for 2022. Polaris has brought the goods with the Polaris Patriot Boost with the RMK Pros. I cannot wait to tell you guys about this sled. Let's dig into this thing. All right, you guys, do you remember the 1990 sitcom Home Improvement? Tim the Toolman Taylor, everything he touched, he had to have as much horsepower as possible. He'd always go, oh, ho, ho, ho. Well, for Polaris in their snowmobile line, they have brought the horsepower. They've got some like-minded people in their engineering department, and with the Boost, we've got to tell you, this was one of the most exciting sleds for 2022. This was a limited number sled. In fact, our dealership was sold out of our allotment in the first 3 hours that these things were released. This is an amazing sled. Now, I'll tell you, even though they are sold out, this is something you're going to want to know a lot about. Polaris has done a lot of stuff with this sled to make it be the best thing on the market. Now, let's talk about this Patriot Boost motor. With the Patriot Boost motor, they talked a lot about how when they first started designing the Patriot 850 motor, they had designed this from the very get-go to handle turbo applications. This thing, going from the 850 naturally aspirated motor to this Patriot Boost setup, the only thing they had to change was the pistons. The crank, the main bearings, the connecting rods, all the same, because they had overbuilt it to begin with to handle a turbocharger. Now, this is going to be an awesome machine. Polaris stands behind this Boost motor with a 2-year warranty right off the get-go. So they have a strong understanding and a strong belief in how this motor is going to hold up with this turbo setup. Now, how did they do their turbo setup? One of the big things they wanted to do with this is they wanted to jump over the shortcomings that come with an aftermarket turbo setup. Those shortcomings being lack of instant throttle response, because you've got that turbo lag. This setup does not have that. And Polaris has figured out how to truly make a turbo system give you that instant throttle response of a naturally aspirated motor while still giving you that big turbo number. Now, what they've done is with this turbo system, you've got a wastegate controller that's electronically controlled that's right off of the tune pipe. It's a few inches before the hot side of the turbo, and what this does is it opens and closes to make sure that the correct amount of exhaust gases are making it to that turbine to start spooling it up. Now, this turbo does max out at 9 pounds of boost, and that wastegate makes sure it doesn't go over that, and it's staying right in that sweet spot no matter what your throttle position is at, no matter your elevation, to give you the maximum power. Now, one of the cool things that they did do with this turbo setup was this turbo feeds the intake, the cold side boost, into a boost box. Now, the boost box has a reed valve assembly, and this reed valve assembly allows the pressure to go in, but not out of this boost box, allowing, even when you're not at full boost, allowing for quicker throttle response. You don't want to have that turbo lag when you're in the steep and deep, and this system does not have that turbo lag. It is very, very responsive, and that boost box with the reed valve is a big part of that. Now, speaking of power, this thing has got 10% more power at sea level than a standard 850, and 50% more power at 10,000 feet of elevation. Man, that is huge numbers. I think about how scary, for me, a standard 850 is. An 850 with the naturally aspirated motor up at elevation even still scares me. Man, this thing is going to be insane with 50% more power. You're not losing any of that power regardless of elevation because of this turbocharger. That is awesome. Now, I'll tell you, with the way that they set up this turbo system, it's very, very cool. So we talked about this electronically controlled wastegate. The turbo is vertically mounted. Now with this vertically mounted turbo, you're able to cut out a lot of the plumbing, both into the turbo and out of the turbo, allowing this turbo system to be a lot smaller. This is 40% lighter than a standard aftermarket turbo system, so it's going to be awesome in that you don't have a lot more added weight onto the nose of this sled. Now another thing that makes the Polaris for 2022 super awesome is the Slash tunnel. This Slash setup is 8 inches shorter than the Axis tunnel. What is that going to do for you as you're riding? What this is going to do is this is going to allow you to drag less tunnel when you're side hilling. It's going to cut off some weight off the back of the sled, allowing you to have instant lift and less drag as you're in that steep and deep snow. Another big thing that they did with this was they centrally located the cooling system. Centrally locating the cooling system allowed the wet weight of this machine to go way down. The whole cooling system was able to be lighter because of this system. Now something that you can get, whether you SnowCheck it or you wait for the in-season model, is going to be this new Matryx chassis. This Matryx chassis is an awesome step up from the Axis platform. And what did they do to make this different? The whole rider interface, the whole rider ergonomics system was looked at to make sure that it was better than ever before. They narrowed it up. The seat is 3 inches narrower, allowing you to be able to grip the machine with your legs a lot easier and not have to worry about how thick the machine is. And then they brought this whole front section forward. As you sit on it, you can really tell how much skinnier and how much more room you've got to move around on this sled, allowing you to be able to make those changes and jump around from side to side that much easier without having to snag up on the seat or have to worry about anything getting in your way. This is going to be an awesome sled for 2022. All right, you guys, so this is Brandon. I've got him here. He's our Polaris Rep, and he's had a chance to spend some time out in the mountains on this sled. So I've got to ask you first off, what are your first impressions about this Patriot Boost motor?
The Boost is incredible. The easiest way for me to describe it is how smooth and how linear the power is. You could get somebody that's never ridden a turbo snowmobile, put them on this thing, and they would feel instantly comfortable because the power is just, it builds right from the bottom right to the top. You'd hardly ever notice you're on a boost until you got to that peak horsepower there at the top. So
that's awesome. So the throttle response,
it's clean, crisp, snappy. There is zero lag like you would expect with a traditional turbo.
That's awesome. Awesome. Now, how about this Matryx Slash platform? What have you felt compared to the outgoing Axis chassis?
Man, the biggest difference for me is the shape of the console and ergonomics of the seating area here. With it being so slim and so narrow, you're not sitting so bow-legged on it. So, you know, with the Axis, you had to move your body a lot more to make the sled maneuver where you wanted it to. This, because you sit more naturally, you're sitting, you know, you're not sitting bowed out. It responds really quick to the littlest of movements.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then you've got this tunnel here. Man, if you're a tail stander, if you like to get this thing in the air, the front end in the air, this thing has zero drag in the snow. I mean, it'll just stand up for days.
That's awesome. Man, this is truly a winner of a sled. Polaris has figured it out with this Matryx Slash platform and with this Patriot Boost. Thanks so much, Brandon.
Yep.
Polaris truly brought the goods when they were looking at this Matryx chassis and with all of the cool things that you can get if you only SnowCheck. The Slash setup is only a SnowCheck option, so come on in, get that money down, get this machine coming for you. Thanks so much for watching this video here at Rexburg Motorsports, and give us a call. We'd love to talk to you more about this machine.